We're making fruit turnovers today, and they're baked, not fried, so they're better than anything you can get at the store, and they're not covered in icing or sugar. Welcome to Help at Home, your resource for great recipes and easy learning. I'm Jim Hightower. Today we're making fruit turnovers. They're easy, delicious, and because we're baking them, they're much more healthy than the ones you get at the store, which are fried and or covered in icing. So these are safe and delicious for your children. You'll need one recipe of the buttercrust pie dough, and I'll stick that on a card up there so you can go back and watch that if you need it. And click that description for the recipe. You'll also need a can of your favorite pie dough, whether that's blueberry or cherry or what have you. Or if you want to be a real go-getter, you can get fresh fruit, cut it up, make a little sugar syrup, blah blah blah. But I'm trying to make this easy for you, so get the pie filling. You'll need a pan and preheat your oven to 425 degrees. Here is my buttercrust pie dough, and remember, because it has butter in it, you want to keep this in the refrigerator until the last minute. We will sprinkle our board with a little flour, and you'll need your rolling pin, the one that lets you say you're in charge. I made this last night, but it's so quick and easy to make. You can make it by hand, or you can even speed it up and put it in your food processor. No big whoop. That helps a little. These are actually two different pieces, and so they may not stick together as great as I want them to. In fact, I'm just going to do one at a time, and that'll save that problem. You want to roll this out to about 1/4 of an inch. And I'm so thankful for my Steve Carpenter marble to keep the dough nice and cool, and plenty of room to work on. Just a little bit more. Now, I have these various cookie cutters, biscuit cutters, fluted on one side, plain flat on the other. And I did some experimenting, and it turns out this medium-sized one, which I use for biscuits, actually makes the prettiest pastries. So you want to cut out 2 for each pastry, and so that's what I'm doing. There's enough for 2 there, and there's 3, and then I'll get some off of that other one. Be sure and spray your pan. It's always a good idea. And then I'm going to pick up this dough that I've used. Gosh. And because it's thin, it is getting warm very quickly. So, tell you what, I'm going to wrap this one in the ball, toss it in the freezer, and this other one back in the fridge. carefully pick these up and put them on. Now, they got soft, and I hate that. Welcome to Texas. Goodness. Alright, so what you need to do is get a tablespoon and, yeah, you can see that. Put about 1 or 2 cherries. I have the cherry pie filling, and I got 3, which is honestly about too much. And not quite that much. And then I will get a little bit more of the syrup there on there. That got on my hand. My impeccably clean hand, of course. Now, you will need to wet the edges of your pastry. So it's important not to get any of the pie filling on the edges. And you do this so that your pastry edges will stick. Now, come on, don't stick to the board. Gosh, when I did this before, it wasn't quite so warm. But when you're doing stuff, you can't give up. Okay. Now, use your fingers and just push those edges together. Then, next, not the flour. Need the water just in case my fork sticks, but then you push these edges together a second time with your fork. And yes, fellow bakers, I can feel some of you saying you should have spread those out farther apart. How do I know you're saying that? Because I'm saying that. Okay, this circle, I'm not gonna use it. Now, I'm going to put this in the refrigerator and get the other dough out, and we will make a free-form pastry or two and let you see how that goes. Here's my board scraper, and I'm just using that to get a little bit of that extra dough off, and then when I come back, I'll put it on my dough. Oh, and there's the rest of that dough. I think I'll turn it over there. And then it'll have to be in the middle. Here we go. You need to do this very quickly, especially if it's warming up in your kitchen, and it is in mine. If you have a marble or a stone board like this, you can even stick it in the refrigerator. So that's something to consider for your hot days. That's sticking over there. Okay. Gosh. There we go. Tiny bit thinner. Now, here's my pizza cutter or dough cutter. Now, honestly, I'm going to do two things here. I could cut this into two pieces, but as I'm going to make one larger turnover, why do that? That just makes it more difficult. So, here is roughly my middle. I can probably put, if I'm careful, 1.5 tablespoons. You just won't believe how little you can put in, and it makes it stick up. It's water time. But these freeform pastries, you can make them any size or shape you want. You'll notice I did not cut it out. I'm going to cut that off. You can also taste this buttercrust. It's quite tasty. Alright, my fork and my water. So okay. To make it nice and even, I'm going to go ahead and make one more of those round ones. And then this can go back with my other dough. Alright, very quickly. Put about... don't come over on my side. Don't do that. Alright, water. Sorry for the... Sometimes I huff and I puff, but I don't blow things in. Just right around the edge. Then put this right on top. And then push, 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 push all the way around. See how easy that is? And honestly, I did an earlier turnover video. It was for apple turnovers, apple slices for Mama Vlogger. And I even turned up the edges, but you don't always have to do that. Alright, here we go. I stuck it up at the very top. Ooh. We don't need the probably remove it to fall out. So, I think it's probably safer to use this. There we go, look at that. And then so here's how everything looks, and into our 425 degree oven for about 15 minutes. However, you'll need a sharp knife, and let's try to dust off a little bit of this excess flour. Anyway, sharp knife, give that a little turn, and what you're doing is you're giving a little steam hole to let the steam come out while it cooks, and that will also help your pastry to cook. 15 minutes. But also, check it at 10. It should be brown around the edges and slightly brown on top. Here they are just out of the oven, and that was 15 minutes for me. They are nice and brown around the edges and set on top, and that's exactly how you want them to be. Just delicious. Your children, they could take one of these and their chocolate milk and be happy. Or your teenagers might take 2 of these. You, keeping the weight down, might take 1 and give your husband or your siggo the big one. So it's whatever you want. You didn't think I would go away without a taste test, did you? And my favorite beverage, coffee. This is a turnover I made last night, and this was a little bit larger, but you can take it like this, or you could use a fork. Depends on how proper you want to be. Of course, who doesn't love pie filling? And who doesn't love a good buttercrust pie dough? Because it has 2 tablespoons of sugar in it. So you don't need any icing. It's just that good. If you like this recipe for delicious, easy, and even healthy fruit turnovers, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe and share with your friends who like to cook or just want to learn how. Drop me a line in the comments below about your experience with this recipe and what else you might like to see in the kitchen. And also, don't forget, you can absolutely use frozen, rolled up, store-bought pie dough. Just thaw it, unroll it, and cut it out. There you are. But homemade is the best. Click the bell below the video for all notifications, and you'll receive new notifications in the bell in the top right-hand corner. I'm Jim Hightower, and remember, everyone needs help, even me. Enjoy and be well. We're making, what are we making? If you like, we're making fruit turnover. Blah. Welcome to Help at Home. You'll also need your favorite blah.